I'd like to bring in Aneesha Mathur, because while there's, this political blame game, this bickering going on, it's also important to focus on the legal aspect of this. And Aneesha, I wanted to break down for us how this isn't the first time we've seen this kind of a case, the symbol war, fight between the party and it reaching the Supreme Court. It's happened before. And in such circumstances, which way has the Supreme Court really ruled?
Well, if you look at the history of this entire issue, now apart from Maharashtra, we've seen this playing out in Tamil Nadu with the AIDMK symbol issue. We saw the two-leaf symbol issue going on for a very long time, and it took a very long time for the court to resolve it, even as the situation on the ground politically was in a very different situation. And we are still seeing the turf war between the EPS and OPS factions as far as the control over the party itself is concerned. But as far as the Maharashtra and the Shiv Sena crisis currently is concerned, there are a lot of aspects that must be considered when we are looking at this issue from a legal standpoint. First of all, of course, being that this is a case that could also set out a precedent for several years to come when it comes to politics and the kind of politics we are seeing increasingly in the country, with MLAs jumping ship, with faction splitting within political parties. Now from tomorrow, that is the 21st, we're also going to see the very critical hearing before the Constitution bench of the Supreme Court on this Maharashtra crisis issue, where the Thakeray faction and the Uddhav and the Shinde faction are facing off on the question of disqualification. And that is precisely where this matter is also hanging, Akshita, really, because what the Uddhav Thakeray faction is insisting on is that the Election Commission could not have gone into the question of who controls the Shiv Sena before the Supreme Court was able to decide on whether the Eknath Shinde, who's currently the sitting CM, and the MLAs who are supporting him should be disqualified from being MLAs at all. What they're also pointing out is that in the party itself, in the that you cannot claim that there is a legislative majority, which is what the Shinde faction had said, that
so
we are supported by the maximum
there are
number of
clearly arguments and counter-arguments that are being put forth. Tomorrow is when, in all likelihood, we're going to be seeing the case heard in the Supreme Court. Aneesha, thanks for those details. Sahil has been getting us all of the updates, in fact, on this big story. But let's tell you also at this point, what next? How is this going to play out in fact, the coming days? First, is you're going to be seeing the legal fight play out in the Supreme Court. You will be seeing, in fact, the Uddhav Sena fighting for a stay on the Election Commission order, and they've put forth several arguments in the Supreme Court for that. Temporary respite they'll be hoping for is a stay. Now, Shinde camp, meanwhile, has also, in fact, filed a plea saying, hear us also in this matter, ensure that this petition isn't heard without our side also being heard. The Supreme Court can uphold or nix the EC order on the symbol and the name. They can also send a notice to both sides, including the Election Commission as well on this. Sahil Joshi is back with us. Sahil, if you can hear me, can you give us a sense of what really the mood is right now in the Uddhav camp? Uddhav Thakeray earlier, a few hours ago, has declared war. He's saying that you can take away Shiv Sena, you can't take away the Thakeray name. But is everything okay within the Uddhav camp, or are there already murmurs of rebellion, etc.?
Well, Nabila, Uddhav Thakeray took a press conference today in the afternoon, and he said that the original Shiv Sena is still with him. But it clearly looks like that the Election Commission has given a clear indication that it's not going to be with him, and that is the reason why it is going to be it's going to be a long drawn battle. Even in Maharashtra Assembly, the whip issued by the Shinde camp is going to be applied on Uddhav Thakeray, and that is what is going to be the trouble. That is what is going to be the trouble. He will need to re-register his party now if he doesn't get any relief from the Supreme Court. The petition which he has filed in the Supreme Court saying that they need an immediate stay on the Election Commission order, and that is going to be difficult. So till then, he's trying to gather his cadre and try to energize them that whatever may be the battle, the cadre is going to be with him. That is what is the long-drawn battle which he will need to fight.
Sahil, Akshita here. I was talking to also Rajdeep earlier, and he was highlighting how at this point the big fight is going to be over the BMC. But what about the other, issues, the internal issues of the Shiv Sena? Yes, the symbol and the name the EC has ruled over. But you look at other issues like the Shiv Sena Bhavan. What about that? Who does that go to?
Well, Shiv Sena Bhavan doesn't belong to the party. It is registered under a trust. So that is the reason why, even if the Shiv Sena symbol and the name has gone with Eknath Shinde, does not mean that he would be able to claim the building, the Shiv Sena Bhavan, because it belongs to a trust. And that trust doesn't belong to Eknath Shinde. So obviously they may not be able to carry the name of Shiv Sena, but the Election Commission only orders with respect to the symbol and the name of the party. But the property does not belong to Eknath Shinde, and that is what they will need to be fighting on. Shiv Sena Bhavan ideally would be staying with Uddhav Thakeray, the trust which they are owning at this point of time.